Hello, my name is Dr. Tina Ray. I'm an educational and child psychologist. And today I want to share with you my Sunday evening and Monday morning plans, which I'm hoping will support some of our parents and carers in terms of actually getting their children back into school, particularly during this time of the COVID pandemic when there seems to be an awful lot of anxiety around, and some of our children are finding the transition back very, very difficult after this third lockdown. So hopefully this will give you some idea as to how you can plan for those transitions. So Sunday evening plan is all around soothing, understanding, neutralizing the fears, deciding on a plan of action, attending and being vigilant to the child's needs, and also looking to yourself to make sure that you as a parent or carer, whoever's supporting the child, has the emotional resilience in order to do that effectively, i.e. you are self-regulated. So I'm going to go through each one of these in turn. So on Sunday, in the evening, bedtime, very, very important to do some calming activities with the child or young person. And I think it's very essential that going to bed at night becomes a place of calm as opposed to a place of anxiety. So maybe just getting some soothing, gentle music. For younger children, obviously a story, something that's happy, optimistic. And the lighting needs to be soft and gentle. And I also think talking about three good things before bed can be really, really helpful in just switching that kind of focus from the worries and the negativity into what has gone well that day. So we can talk about three good things that happened today that I really value, that I appreciate, and maybe three good things that we can think might happen tomorrow that we would really value and appreciate. Then I think it's really important to neutralize those worries. And I'm not saying let's get them to vanish in any sense, but what I would like to see is that we actually talk to the child about those worries. We don't dismiss them, we don't deny them. We could record them in a worry book, we can talk through each one in turn. But what we have to do as the parent or carer is to actually look at each one and say, you know, what's the evidence for and against it? Are we catastrophizing? Are we blowing this out of proportion? Is this really true? But very gently, so that we're showing them the evidence against any irrational thoughts or thinking patterns that they might have. And in a sense, this does neutralize those fears to some extent. Understanding is clearly essential here. We've got to make sure that the child, the young person, knows that we really do understand their feelings. We're not going to negate them or dismiss them in any sense. We understand it's really, really hard for them, that they're worried, they're concerned. We get that, we feel that, we empathize. You may think about developing your own script for that if you feel that you need to, but I think this is really important, that the child doesn't feel in any sense that they are not being listened to. Then it's about deciding on a plan of action, going through it with them step by step. And again, anxious people usually they increase their anxiety because they don't have a sense of control or autonomy, and that's quite scary, particularly for a child going back into school now. And I think it's really important that we have a plan of action, we make that explicit. So this is what we're going to go tomorrow. We work it out, we make sure everything's ready, we pack the bag, we get the PE kit ready if that's what's needed, etc. But it's laid out for the next morning, including any uniform, etc. We can make the plan visual if necessary for younger children or those with special needs. I think this is really essential. Again, it's about saying, this is what we're going to do, we're going to keep you safe, here's the structure, here's the plan. And of course, it's about attending and being vigilant for the child's emotional state. We need to give them more time. I think we really have to be patient at this time, small step by step. We've got to be very careful that we don't try and rush this. So if the child needs an extra half hour of us attending to their needs at bedtime, I think that's fine. They need to feel nurtured and safe first, and we need to reassure them. Again, a transitional object for younger children might be something that we talk about and we give them, that they know that they can take into school the next day, okay? And given the COVID pandemic and the fact that we have to be very careful about the hygiene elements, one of the ways that I have been doing this with some of my children, is the younger ones in particular, is to draw a heart on their hand, draw one on the adult's hand, and we meet these together and clasp them so that the child knows that when they go into school the next day, they can touch that heart that's drawn onto their hand and know that you, the adult, are thinking about them, You're there, you're attending to them in your heads, in your minds, in your heart. Then it's about looking to yourself, and I think this is essential too. You really must, as the adult in these circumstances, try to maintain a sense of equilibrium, try to keep self-regulated and feel calm yourself. So it's very important that once you've put the child to bed, once you've actually had that nighttime ritual, that you engage in some relaxation. You take time out for yourself, so you build up your own resources. You distract yourself by something that you enjoy, a flow moment, a moment where you're engaged in an activity that you really, really are passionate about, or simply just some grounding, some visualization. But I think it's important. We mustn't let our worries overwhelm us as well, because we know that adults who are dysregulated cannot possibly support children who are also dysregulated. It's impossible. When it gets to Monday morning, again, this is about managing the situation, being organized, again, neutralizing those anxieties and worries, clarifying the plan, reiterating that, accepting the child's emotional state, but also looking to yourself as the adult again. So manage yourself first before anything else. So it may mean getting up slightly earlier. Okay, this is really important. This is not selfish. As I said, you can't support a child or young person who's unregulated and stressed if you are too. So if you take time to sort out your own needs, engage in that bit of relaxation, have that cup of coffee on your own in the kitchen, wherever, but really use your own tools. It might be grounding, time alone, mindfulness, whatever it is, that will help you to get in the right state in order to then manage the worries and concerns of the child. An organisation, again, in terms of planning, is absolutely crucial. Get it all ready, get up earlier, make sure the bags are in the hall, everything's sorted out, breakfast is set up, whatever you need needs to be organised really well ahead before the child comes down. And this means that you can then actually attend to your child in a really regulated manner, okay? And that is absolutely essential, so that when they come down, if they are full of worries again, you're there as the calm adult who's going to keep them safe and nurtured. Again, neutralize. You're going to spend some time, maybe over breakfast, just talking through any worries again, helping them to see solutions, helping them very gently to recognize if they're blowing things out of proportion or catastrophizing. So actually saying, you know, maybe this isn't quite as true as you think. Maybe your thought isn't so true. Maybe what we think isn't always true. It's not a fact. Maybe this is more like the true situation, but just very gently, so that again, there's no sense whatsoever that you are dismissing the child's feelings and worries. Then reiterating that plan. This is what we're going to do now. Okay, we've got the plan to get to school. Maybe it's in the car or the bus, or we're walking, but this is how we're going to get there. What, you know, clarifying what music we might choose to listen to together. We might tell each other some stories or jokes as we walk to school, who's going to be with us, etc. So that everything is very, very clear and they feel totally prepared for each step along the way. So the whole routine of getting there is planned out. And again, accepting and reassuring. The child's emotional state needs to be accepted. We need to ensure that they know that we're there for them, so that they are safe, nurtured, and they know that their worries and concerns are not being dismissed. I keep saying this, but this is so, so important. Maybe that transitional object, again, remember this for the younger child, needs to go with them. But just saying to them, our language really does matter here. You know, it's okay to feel anxious and worried. We're all worried at this time. But, you know, we'll get through it together. I'm here to help you. Remember, put your hand on the heart. I've drawn on your hand. It's on mine too. Okay, I'm with you. I'm with you emotionally. I'm with you in spirit. And I'm going to be here when you need me. And again, looking at yourself first, making sure that you're regulated and calm. I think it's really, really important engaging in that wee bit of relaxation or grounding. This is vital at this time. We're all slightly more anxious and worried, but we mustn't let this overwhelm us as the adults in the situation. We have to be there to give that compassionate nurturing to our children. I need to make them feel safe. So I need to find my calm in order to share it with them. These plans can be found in my publication for Hinton House Publications, which is Understanding and Supporting Children and Young People with Emotionally Based School Avoidance. So do take a look if you want to get some more advice in terms of the whole process of actually managing children's needs when they experience emotionally based school avoidance. So thank you for listening. I hope this is useful and helpful, and that you'll come and actually participate again in the next few little videos I'm going to make. So I'm going to continue to do these because I'm hoping that they are helpful, and I know that the feedback so far has been that they are. So thanks very much for listening.